Uniqueness is your superpower. After a successful but unfulfilling career in tech, I set off to uncover what makes people successful and satisfied. I discovered the systems of astrology and human design, studied and applied them for years, and exchanged my 9 to 5 for the entrepreneur's adventure. Now I share insight from the cosmic cutting edge. This podcast is for ambitious people ready to use their unique genius to create wealth, positive impact, and personal fulfillment. We'll talk personal branding, business, and leadership. Time to be courageous and seen. Let's reach for the stars. Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be back with our next podcast episode. Today is going to be a juicy one. I already know it. And I decided to do a little bit of a different format today. Instead of like teaching and having an outline and going through, a set of points I want to hit, I want to riff on a topic for you. It is a topic that I think is deep. It's deep. It's profoundly important. It reveals a lot about who we are as a species, who we are as humans. It also reveals a lot about challenges that I think people face in business as entrepreneurs when they're trying to get their work out there. And I think it also reveals a lot about ourselves and the importance of relationships in our lives and in our businesses and careers. And I'm really excited to talk about why we should all be using projector strategy. Let's get into it. That's a bold statement because in human design, we're talking human design today, if that wasn't clear. In human design, there are 5 types, right? There are projectors, manifestors, manifesting generators, and reflectors. Did I miss anything? Did I say manifestors? Hopefully I got all 5 there. Let me do that again. Projectors, manifestors, generators, manifesting generators, and reflectors. I always like to do them in the same order. So these are the 5 types, and each type has an understanding of how their aura works. They have their own aura mechanics. And I love this because it's a nice, tidy way to explain how people interact with each other and how they best interact with the world. And each aura type, there are 4 aura types, and then the manifesting generator is a hybrid, just to be clear. But each aura has its own strategy. And so I love to talk about the strategies in relation to business and branding and building a personal brand and getting your work out there. Famously, the manifestor strategy is to inform, generator strategy is to respond. Same with manifesting generator. It's a combination of inform and respond. And then we have the projector strategy, which is to wait for the invitation, and the reflector strategy is to let things unfold. And so, and also there's something about the moon and the 28 days. Well, that's a different episode. So there's all these different strategies, and I love to talk about these in the context of business because they're very useful, and even though they sound a bit esoteric and confusing and complicated, they actually have very practical meanings. And you can probably hear me getting up and walking around because fortunately I have to let my cat into the room because someone, that was not me, closed the door. Okay, this is real. You're in my bedroom with me talking about human design and how you're going to use it to change the world. Love this. Okay, so each of these aura types has their own strategy, but I'm going to tell you about why we all need to be using projector strategy. There is something that you get into when you study human design at an intermediate and advanced level, which is called circuitry. And this is where you start to learn about the channels and how the channels of energy work in the body graph. And it's a beautiful thing. I feel like it's like this symphony. It's like music, like watching and understanding how energy moves through our energetic bodies. And there are different types of channels. So there are 36 channels in human design, but there are actually different types of channels. And so, four different types to be specific. There are manifested channels, there are generated channels, there is a manifesting generator channel, the 3420, which we know and love. And then there are projected channels. And if you're able to get your hands on an image of this, unfortunately, I'm on a podcast, so I can't show you, but the vast majority of channels in the human design body graph are projected. It is highly likely that you will have at least one projected channel. And probably the majority of your channels are going to be are going to be projected. You're going to have a lot of projected energy. Even if you don't have the whole channel, those gates, those hanging gates are going to hold projected energy as well. It's beautiful to think about, and I just wanted to riff on this and why it's important. It's beautiful to think about. I think that often in entrepreneurship, we mistakenly hyper focus on the idea of independence. Yes, Artemis, we know that you're here. I don't know if you heard that. He's meowing. We hyper focus on the idea of independence and the value of, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and doing it on your own and being that trailblazer and that maverick. And I love all that too. God help me. I love all of that. And that is so me as well. This is why I'm drawn to entrepreneur. I mean, you got to be a little crazy to be an entrepreneur. That's why we get into this. We're a little crazy, we're a little off, or on, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, there can be such a like a glorifying, a putting on the pedestal of this idea of doing it by yourself. And in the Aquarian age, as we've just had, Pluto move into Aquarius in January of this year, we are now firmly in the Aquarian age. We got to recognize that that doesn't work. We got to recognize that that kind of ethos, if that's the only ethos that you have, leads to burnout and isolation and mental and emotional health challenges. We as humans are here to be in relationship. And I think that when you look at the body graph and you understand that the majority of the 36 channels are projector strategy, which I'll explain in a minute, like that we are actually designed to be in relationship. We have to be in order to be successful. That is a beautiful thing. Like that could make us emotional slash me. But it is a beautiful thing. So the way that this works, the projector strategy is called, waiting for the invitation. And what this means is that, I mean, I need to do a whole other podcast on this just for projectors, but what this means is that, you have a gift, you have an energy that needs to be shared with people, with the world. And not but, and that energy is only going to be effective if it is received. You can shoot your shot, but if there's no basket to catch it, what's the point? Projected energy is pushing out from you, but it needs to be received by me. And if I have not invited you, I ain't receiving that. I am not interested. I am not open for business. I am not paying. I am not going to hear you. I am not listening to your advice. I am closed. And so projected energy can just kind of like float around in the ether and not land, which can really frustrate the person who sent that energy out because they know that in order to be successful, to have the feeling of success, whatever that is, in love and work and relationship, that it has to be received. And so if the majority of the channels in the human design body graph have to be invited, then we have to be in relationship in order to be successful. And so think about that in your business. Think about the way that you market or the way that you've branded yourself or the way that you talk about your products or services. Are you speaking to people who have invited you? Are you speaking to people who know that they're your people and they've opted in and they are like, yes, tell me more, tell me more. I am so ready. I love this shit. I eat it up. Tell me, sister, tell me. Are you speaking to those people or are you speaking into the void? That is the question. And I know how painful it is to feel that you're speaking into the void. And it's not because you don't deserve to be heard. And it's not because there's something wrong with you. And it's not because, you know, you just don't want it enough or whatever the latest manifestation bullshit says. The reason that you're speaking into the void is because you just haven't figured out how to communicate what it is that you want to say, number one. And number two, you may be speaking to the wrong people. And when you're able to speak and communicate what it is that you want to say to the right people, they will be able to hear you and they will come. They will come. Who here is a fan of Angels in the Outfield? Oh my gosh, I'm showing my age. Millennial. Yes, but Angels in the Outfield, Danny Glover, right? Oh, I love that movie. It made me cry so much. But they said, if you build it, they will come. But you gotta build it to the specifications for who they are. That's the thing, right? It's like you can't just build whatever the hell you want. You gotta build what is to the specifications of who the they is that you want to come. So being really clear, in business terms, we got to be clear on who our target market is. I don't even like saying target market. Ugh, it sounds so gross, doesn't it? Target market. That's the business term. Who is our community is the Aquarian age term, the new age business, new earth business, whatever. Like, who is our community? Who are our people? Like, I don't just do this because I love the sound of my own voice. Like, I do crack myself up sometimes. I do. But I do this because I have a heart for my people. And if my message is not getting to them, if it's not being clear, if they can't hear me, then it's not that it's like something wrong with me, is that it's my responsibility as an entrepreneur, a leader, a business owner, an influencer, a human. It's my responsibility to figure out how to communicate it in a way that my people can hear it. So, I used to just have Rachel Onajaffe as my brand, on Instagram. And I'm even thinking about working on a pen name. Let's see what happens with that. It's going to be fun. Watch this space. But I'll always be Rachel something. But, I used to just have the brand Rachel Onajaffe. And then I was like, you know what? I want to create Cosmic Queen because I knew that I needed to speak in a certain language, that I needed to get across what I'm about, who I am, and my brand and my mission and my values and my vibe. And there is something about the word cosmic and there is something about the word queen that is me and that my people can hear, that they understand. They're like, yeah, there's something about it that says confidence. There's something about it that says modern mystic. There's something about it that says, yeah, I'm claiming my name. I'm claiming this title for myself. I'm claiming my space. I'm reserving this seat for myself and I'm creating this table and you get to come too because you're cosmic queen, kings, and royals as well, right? So I wanted to riff on this a little bit today because I think that a lot of times projectors, may think that they're alone in this, alone in the frustration, in the bitterness, in the challenge of like wanting to reach your people and not knowing how to do it. And you're not. This is something that we're all figuring out. And Lucky us, we're in the Aquarian age. We have social media, we have all of these tools that help us to do it at lightning speed immediately. But we have to do it in a way where we're speaking the language of our people. We're speaking the language of the people who are the ones who we speak to, who we serve, who we're excited to support in our work. Follow that projector strategy, and people will invite you. They will invite you in to work with them. They will hire you for your services, for your expertise, for your heart. They will want to watch your content. They will share it with their friends. They will be excited to recommend you to a friend. They will know as soon as they speak to you that you're for them. I'm working with a new client right now, and he was telling me that, he got this referral from one of my peers who is a dear friend of his to work with me. And he said normally he would have done a bunch of research and, looked at all the different cosmic coaches out there, or astrologers, or human design coaches, whatever, business coaches, and compare and contrast and like try and decide, pros and cons. Is Rachel the one? I don't know. He said he just knew. He like watched a couple of my videos, hopped on a sales call with me, had a conversation, and he was like, it was immediate. I knew because he heard me. He heard what I had to say. He heard my energy. He felt it. And he knew that it was for him because over the past 5 years of being an entrepreneur, I have been working on this. I have been honing my message and removing the layers of corporate bullshit to be more and more and more and more of who I am, so that when my people find me, they know. And this is what you can do too, so that they then invite you in and you get to be in relationship, because working with a client is a relationship. Speaking to your people is a relationship, whether you know their name or not. It's a relationship, and that's what we human beings are here to do. I love you all so much. I hope this gave you some good food for thought for the day. We all get to be a little bit projector. I love this, and I hope this is supportive to you, because human design is just a reflection. It's not like telling us something we don't know, it's reminding us of something that we've always known. I love you. Keep reaching for the stars.